I'm Judit Polgar, and I won against some fantastic players and 11 world champions. From those games, I want to share some of them now. Another victory I want to share with you, which I won against the world champion, against Garry Kasparov. It was in 2002 Moscow, playing in the Russia versus rest of the world. I was part of the world team, and it was a very interesting match playing in the Kremlin, and it was very tight, but still we were always having the lead. We won 52-48. This game, it's a rapid game, and it was so interesting and unexpected for me that Kasparov chose the Berlin opening. Why do you choose a Berlin opening if you're Kasparov? You're a sharp person, you like tactics, you like energy, you like initiative. He was playing most of his life against me, c5, obviously. We had a lot of interesting games, fireworks, tension. And when you play Berlin, you take out some of the tension of the game. And specifically in this position, I have a knight in the center in d4, protecting the pawn on c2, because this is on h7, the bishop is a powerful piece. And this is why I want to make my favorite move here, because g4 is a move which I played all my life in many different situations, in endgames, in sharp position, in many different cases. So g4, what is the plan of g4? First of all, gaining space is very important in chess, and taking initiative is even more important. You will see it in all the top players. They love initiative, they love space, they love activity for the pieces, crossing the fourth rank, fifth rank, putting the pieces more towards to the enemy territory. So the h4 bishop is not doing too much here, so Garry went back bishop h7. I improved my king to g2 because it just stands much better there. And then h5 was played by Kasparov, so I went knight f5, and in the next few moves, I just improved my pieces with king f3, rook d2, and gaining more space in this game. And now let's go to another interesting moment of the game. So by this moment, Kasparov also wants to break out from the position, loosening up a little bit, simplifying the position, exchanging pawns. So he went f6. But after f6, I felt there is a momentum. And I went bishop f4 from e3, trying to put pressure on the c7 pawn. So now I'm threatening to take on f6 and also bring my rook. Now black took bishop takes f5, eliminating my very active knight, and playing f takes e5. Of course, you can imagine how uncomfortable Kasparov felt in this position. It is very clear that black is the player who is struggling to save the game, and in this position, maybe bishop e5 was the expected move for Garry, but then rook c8 defending, so the game goes on. But now I played a very important move, and I think it's very instructive. When you have active pieces, and when someone takes a piece, you should not take back instantly. Think about it. Maybe there is a better version of capturing that back, not immediately, but maybe a move later. So this rook was not playing in the game so far, and finally I was able to go rook e1 and have a pin over the pawn on e5, right? So Kasparov played bishop d6, defending the pawn. Obviously, I'm ready to take anyway. And then he was kind of hiding with his king behind the bishop. So he was hoping that if I would be capturing and I would go rook e6, then he can go, for example, d5 and kind of moving on the game. It's not so pleasant for black, but it's probably roughly equal. But in this position, he forgot, or things were happening too fast. I can refine this idea by playing c4 and using the other pin. So now threatening with c5, winning the bishop. If black would go b6, I would just strengthen, reinforce this idea and want to go c5. And when Kasparov played c5, already now with very different circumstances, I can capture on d6, takes, and rook e6, and you see the d5 square is not protected. It's a weakness, but the biggest problem for black that I'm going to be capturing this pawn. And after this, it was just completely hopeless, the game for Kasparov. I needed a little technique to win the game, but I did it, and it was a victory of my life in some ways in that moment. So it is something very memorable.